The film's really a story of redemption.
I'm a spiritual person, so, I didn't really know what to think at first.
Oh, it's so different than what you think it's gonna be, and it means something.
When the first one blew his trumpet, there came hail and fire mixed with blood. It's the rapture. Who makes a film about the rapture? Casey Lascala.
Cut. It's really a story about a group of kids that kind of come together and try to survive, but also try to find faith. I felt like there was a void of mainstream films that have a faith-based core.
Forgive me, Jesus, I never knew you.
The mainstream audience pulls back a little bit, like, whoa, what is this? Are you trying to spoon-feed me some faith? And the way that we do it, and what I've heard from people who've read the script is, it does it in a way that's graceful, and it also kind of sneaks up on you.
I needed something miraculous to open my eyes to the truth.
A couple of things kind of happened at the same time. About a year before, my father had died, and so he had said, on his deathbed, he was telling me, he wished he'd been able to do things over again, and he wished he'd been able to say the things he wanted to say to us, to his friends. So that kind of thematic thread was kind of lingering. And then for each character, I wanted to have a story. I just have it in my head, and I just start writing, just free form, and I don't care what I write, I just let it flow. Basically, that first draft is, a version of the beat sheet. And then usually I throw that whole thing out, and then go back and start rewriting again. In the original draft, I had dying birds raining down on the wedding, and I had all these things that had nothing biblical about them, just things that I thought were really interesting. And then, working with the firm, it was, there's look, we should really try to make this as authentic as possible. And I had been raised in the Lutheran church. I was confirmed, and I remember going to church camp and hearing about the tribulation, and I went to Revelations. I go, gosh, what does the end of the world look like? Sometimes it was a little difficult, but other times it actually made it easy because I already had the plotting there. I know, okay, we have to go hail and fire mixed with blood, then the abyss is open, then, so I kind of just built it that way and restructured it that way. And so then everything kind of came together. So the thematic stuff was there, and the building blocks for the story was actually in Revelations.
Is that a Bible?
Yes, it's a Bible, Jack.
And I want to create almost a little bit of a puzzle. So when people view it the second time, they go back and they find things that they never found. In every scene, there's a little bit of a tree. Wherever we go, there's you kind of come off of a tree or something living. And by the end, that's burning. So kind of creating things that an audience can kind of go back and watch on a second, third view, and they pick up on all these different puzzle pieces.
I shouldn't be here.
Okay, it's okay. Fuck it.
Stop.
Look, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Well, he wrote the script, so he was a really good fit as a director. So that was, I think that was non-negotiable.
The key to directing is get a good script, get great actors, and stay out of the way, right? And I feel like that's what I've been fortunate to get a great crew in Wilmington, get a great DP, and get a great cast, and that's all I could hope for. And then you just right here. There's a pop and the phone slides. Okay, that's all we see. Okay.
We've been doing all sorts of friendly bonding activities for the first 2 or 3 weekends. So we've been shooting all the things. We've done more cool stuff with my fake friends than I've done with my real friends.
We went bowling together, went to the beach together, we played football together, we did the arcade, went to the movies, went to restaurants, went to bars. I went to all of these places, and I had my handheld camera with me, and they were supposed to be exploring their characters and their relationships. By shooting the team building exercises, I created a space in the movie that's probably going to be my favorite space in the movie. It's just them falling in love with each other. In 3 minutes, you realize who these characters are, that you love them, we're at the wedding, and oh no, I don't want them to die. Looking for the right Tommy, I wanted to find someone who you root for, because ultimately he has this deep secret. The secret of loving your best friend's girl is not very rootable. It's not something that you really want, oh, that's great, that I wanted to find someone who endeared himself to the audience, and he had those qualities.
Right away, Casey and I talked about how to start off, with him being this, this certain way, and then having him grow throughout the film.
I love you, Allison. I knew it. I'm sorry.
Whoa, Jack, stop it!
I love those really heavy scenes and what the fulfillment it brings when you go there and when you have to go there, and it just from a technical acting standpoint, I think that's where the meat is, and that's the challenge is getting yourself to these places.
What's going on?
There's got to be a Bible in here somewhere. I'm going to prove to you guys what's going on.
Alexa, I've actually known, And I've always wanted to work with her. In fact, it was the Spy Kids 4 premiere. I was writing the Amityville for the Weinstein, so I happened to be there. I met her, and I just loved her energy.
I originally was going out for the role of Allison, which was funny. So I went in there, and Casey called back, and he's like, no, you know what, I want her to come in for Skylar. I really think she'd be a good Skylar, so have her come back in tomorrow. So I had to relearn everything. I could pass by here and be like, yes, she is.
That's kind of fun.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Yeah. That's good. Almost like a wink to her. Yeah, you're moving around timing-wise. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Right? That's good, okay. I like that. My favorite scene is the Skylar death scene. It's funny because I went up to Alexa in that scene and I had my drops. And I leaned over her, you want some drops? And she looked at me, she goes, I don't need drops.
Do you see that? The shining bright light to me that's heaven.
It's so bright. It's beautiful.
That's my favorite shot of the movie. I always get kind of butterflies in my stomach when I see that.
Dan has the worst honeymoon ever. Casey and I have talked a lot about knocking Dan off of the pedestal he puts himself and Skylar onto.
No.
Maybe especially when I go to close the book.
And that helps with the anger thing for
Let's
sure.
try that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we're trying to schedule the movie, I give a lot of extra time for scenes with these characters, the real emotional scenes. And I was really shocked when Brian came in Skylar's death.
Somebody help her, please!
It was a big, big dramatic scene. And I was blown away about how this guy brought it. And so we were able to move quicker because I didn't have to work with him as much. He just blew me away.
God, are you even listening to me?
When Sean walked in, it was just, he opened his mouth and I go, that's my guy.
On a very core level, someone having a very big heart for people, I think I connected with and went, I understand that. You know, and someone that wants to look after people and be there for them.
Turn it out here. I'm gonna flash the silhouette of the guy here. You don't see it. You guys are gonna follow out of the room. And I did a little ad lib process with him, a little session with him to see if he could bring some stuff to the character. And it's funny because as it materialized, he really became Jack for me. In fact, we talk about when we're within the framework of scenes, I say, what would Jack say?
And all you gotta do is make a choice. I love you.
I love you.
Allison is the sort of girl next door. As far as Faith goes, she's not sure. And that's one of the things that appealed most to me about the character is that you see sort of the evolution of belief.
She looked the part, but then she had this amazing talent that she brought it. We had her confession at the end. That was really powerful.
I spent my whole life telling myself that I was spiritual and that was enough. Obviously, that didn't work out too well.
I really liked that she dies. Because I just, you know, the whole script, you're like, I don't want to die, but I really want to have a death scene. You know, it's sort of an actor's thing, and it was my first one on camera, so I was pretty excited about it, which is totally superficial, but I can't lie.
I'm so scared.
Okay, you're okay.
I'm in like the corner, hiding and crying, and it's just been, it was such an emotional scene for me. And emotional scenes are always the most fun for me, I think, because we never get to be completely open with ourselves. That's why I love acting so much, because you get to just be open and no one judges you for it. They praise you for doing it.
Liz is my discovery, and it's a very tough character to find. We'd scoured all of Los Angeles. I start getting worried. I go, I'm not gonna find this character. It's just, she doesn't exist. It's just not gonna happen. I started rethinking about, do I make her older? Do I rewrite her? Because it's not gonna happen. So we had Jackie Birch locally casting, and she said, look, I'm gonna send you some Sams. I literally went through, and I saw her face, and I'm like, whoa. And I push play. She literally opens her mouth. I push pause. I call Jackie. I say, cast her. That's how it happened. It was that quick.
And that was just, oh my God, I was so surprised and dumbfounded, and it was incredible for him to just give me a chance.
It's really Sam. You're kind of stuck there. Like you're not sure if you want to leave. I've just been blessed with actors that are amazingly talented. Cut. Good.
Cutting.
Good.